All right, let's open this bad boy up. Hey guys, thanks for joining on this video. This is the beginning of what I like to call the unique truck in build or install or whatever you want to call it. This is my truck. I got this bad boy. It's mine. I'm doing my own system this time. It's not somebody else's car. It's this guy's. So here's the deal. Often I get a lot of people that call in here and are asking vehicle specific questions. You know, what'll fit in my truck? Usually it's a truck. I don't know what's going on. I guess Americans just love their trucks. Yes, we do. So we're gonna go and do an install, and this is a 2009 Sierra 1500. All right, this is a very standard truck. A lot of people have it in America and you know, other places in the world, I guess. I don't know. So we're gonna go and do an install on this. It's not gonna be super elaborate, but it's a little bit more than your normal, okay? So, and it's my own little unique take on what I would like to do had I own a truck, and here we go. We're gonna do that. All right, now a little backstory on this truck. I was actually about to start filming this particular episode, I don't know, probably like a month ago, and it was on a different truck, oddly enough. So I reached out to a company called Elite Euro. They're in Florence, South Carolina. They're one of our dealers. They do a lot of custom jobs out there. Now, Josh Skipper over there, he had a 2008 Chevy Silverado 1500, which is basically the same truck that's behind me. But anyway, he had that. I bought it off of him. He put a new engine in it for me. It was like, the engine had maybe like 200 miles on it. And then 2 weeks later, I got in an accident. Oddly, it's like, come on, man. I waited like 3 freaking months to get this vehicle. You know, he did all that work to it. And it's like, somebody just rear-ended me on the highway, where the traffic was slowed down, came to a stop. People behind me did not stop and just plowed right into my truck. I hit the guardrail, then hit another vehicle, and it's like, anyway, a month later, here I am doing this build. Again, same vehicle. Now here's the messed up thing. I bought all this, and I'll show you here in a second. I bought all this stuff to start the install on the other vehicle, and everything was, you know, meant for that vehicle, like in stereo and installation equipment, seat lifter kits, all this stuff that I bought for it, and oh, the speaker pods too. It was very, you know, that stuff's vehicle specific, and I'm like, now I have to get another truck that's like the same thing, you know, so I can fit all this stuff that I already got for that vehicle. Anyway, this is the GMC version of the same thing. So, and it's a crew cab, and it's a gray color. I actually like gray versus white. The other one was white. So here we are with this one, and we're gonna go ahead and start working on this. Let's go ahead and show you what we're gonna put in this vehicle. All right, so on this table, I've got an array of product here. This is basically everything that's going in the truck except for the enclosure. I plan on building the enclosure myself. It's been a while since I've done enclosures, but hell, that's what I used to do before I worked here at Sundown, so I think I still got it in me. We'll start on this side of the table, work our way down, and we'll go from there. So over here, I've got the Excess Power A3400. Now this is a standard AGM Group 34 battery. Now the 3400 series you can find in an A, which has like a classic look to it. You've got a D series, an S, an S. So D is more like car audio style. The S series, I think, is more like their race series. There's also a vintage series, more for like classic cars. But essentially they're the same battery. As far as I know, they're the same battery. Really good batteries. They sent these over here. They also sent these connectors or posts for the battery. Each one has 4 holes for 0 gauge wire. And I plan on needing most of those holes. I like filling holes. Hey, by the way, when it comes to holes, the reason why I have 2 batteries is because my truck has 2 holes for batteries. So I might as well utilize all the holes. Again, I like filling holes. So after the battery setup, that's going to be the first video that we're going to do. We've got Sundown wire here. Obviously, I got to use our own wire. It's some of the best stuff on the market. We're going to do the electrical side first. That'll be the first video that we come out with. Shouldn't be too extensive. It's just 2 batteries, and we're going to do what's called the big 3 and run them through the firewall. Now, next up over here, we've got the BT-R1 tweeter. We have about 2 or 3 different super tweeters is what we call them. This bad boy here is the BT tweeter. I love the orange in the back of it. It's a really nice, awesome speaker. It has a 1-inch diaphragm. We normally suggest, now first off, this is a 100 watt tweeter. Now I'm going to run these active. I'm going to run them active on an SDX 90.2. 90 watts is completely enough wattage for the BT tweeter. You want to set your high pass filter usually around 5,000–6,000 hertz if you're going to run active, and with that much power. You could probably drop your frequency range a little bit lower, like 3,000 hertz, somewhere around there, but I do suggest backing down on power if you're going to do something like that. It is a tweeter. You know, they do get hot, they do blow if you go too hard on them. But these bad boys are pretty stout. They're super loud, very high sensitivity. Again, running that is going to be the SDX 90.2. It's 90 watts at 4 ohms per channel, super small footprint. I'll probably end up installing this in my dash. That way I don't have to run wires all the way to the back. Again, it's super small. I can put it anywhere in the vehicle. Now, these BT tweeters are going to be installed in these here custom speaker pods from customspeakerpods.com. I spoke with Brandon over there. He's a really good guy. Set me up with these. They sit on the A pillar. They get installed on the A pillar right where the factory tweeter is. So they'll kind of hide the old factory tweeter. They are black. You could wrap them if you wanted to with whatever material you want. I'm going to keep them black and make it easy on myself. Yeah, that's the biggest thing is, I haven't done an install for myself in so long because I don't have time. So I made it really easy on myself and had like this guy, Brandon from customspeakerpods.com, can't get it out. He makes the stuff for you. All you gotta do is bolt on, there, you're done. In the doors, I'm going to be doing the Vex series. Now the Vex series is a super loud speaker. It will compare very well with the tweeter. They're just going to go along with it. A lot of times you see people running multiple Vex speakers. These are it's a 400 watt. This is an 8-inch version is what I'm going to put in my door. I'm just going to have 2, one per door. Again, one of the main reasons why I went with customspeakerpods.com is the ease of use, because it's already made for you. And my vehicle comes with a stock 6.5-inch speaker in the door. Well, if I'm going to fit an 8-inch woofer or speaker in that spot, I'm going to have to do something custom. Plus, this bad boy is so deep and heavy, there's no way you're going to get it in the factory location, even if I were to cut the door skin off. So customspeakerpods.com sent me one of these bad boys. They do not make a single 8 for my vehicle. I called him up and he made one for me. So big thank you to customspeakerpods.com for doing that. I assume now that you made one for me, maybe you can get one. A lot of times they had like, I noticed it was mostly like dual 6.5s or dual 8s. Personally, I don't need all that. Just a single 8 in the door is good for me, and a tweeter to go along with it, and some subs. Nothing crazy here. This is a unique build, but not over the top. All right. Now moving actually here. So to run the Vex series speakers, they are 400 watts apiece. I've got here a Salt 1700.5. Now, what I'm going to do in order to run the Vex speakers, since these are 400 watts apiece, I'm going to bridge channels 1 and 2 for one door, bridge channels 3 and 4 for the other door. That'll give me about roughly 400 watts per speaker, which is perfect for what I'm doing here. Now that 5th channel is going to be run on this bad boy right here. Actually, 2 of these bad boys. I got 2 boxes. So this is our new U8 series speakers. Now we've had the U series speakers out for a couple of years now, and recently we came out with an 8-inch sub. In all honesty, it's kind of best of both worlds when it comes to when you're trying to make a difference between the SA and the X. So when it comes to our 8-inch woofers, the SA series are loud but very clean, and they have a lower frequency level. They're real smooth sounding. The X series, X8 I should say, oddly enough is a kind of a tighter suspension and a little bit louder of a woofer. Which is not like the X series 10 through 18. X 10 through 18 is a very low FS, big air moving woofer. The X8s have a slightly tighter suspension. So SA series, smooth and loud. X series, tight and loud. They're both loud. But then you have the U series, which is kind of best of both worlds. U series is a little more like an SA. Actually, originally we were going to make this an SA8 version 4, but we decided to make it a U series. So it is still a little smoother sounding, super loud, big old butt on it. You know, look at that bad boy. But yeah, I'm gonna do 2 of these. These are dual 4. They're gonna run on the Salt 1700.5 on the 5th channel. You know, that 5th channel is 1300 watts. These woofers are 600 watts a piece, so I'll have a headroom of 100 watts to play with. There's nothing wrong with having a little bit of headroom. So again, to be able to run these, I'm going to put them under the back seat. I'm going to do an enclosure. I'll show you here in a little bit what we're going to do with the enclosure here in a second. Now moving on over here, I've got some sound deadener. This is our Sundown sound deadener. Honestly, it's just standard. This is 36 square foot of it. More than enough to do my doors, and I'll probably put some on the ceiling as well. Just utilize whatever's in this box. Again, we've got the amplifier kit. This is oxygen-free copper, 0-gauge kit. It comes with 2-channel RCAs, I believe 17 foot, might be 20, I can't remember. Also comes with a fuse and some speaker wire and a bunch of connectors to go along with it. Now over here, I've got some a seat lifter kit. This is from LMI Welding. This is the first vehicle where I've ever done a seat lifter kit. Now I see where you can do some spacers, you can kind of make your own. Again, ease of use and not having enough time, I went with a kit that's pre-built for me, and these are very quality parts. Basically you order them from them, they make them on site, everything's painted. Actually, everything feels like it has a kind of like a bed liner coating on it. Real robust, real thick, damn near 1/4-inch steel. This is I believe, 2 to 2.5 inch lifter kit. I can't remember, but it's the only kit they make for my truck. Now over here, I contacted our dealer in Nashville, Saeed from Megasound. If you're ever in Nashville, that is the place to go for car audio. They've got a ton of our products there. Contacted them, got me a Pioneer radio, which radios right now, especially like double din touchscreens, are super hard to get right now, and you're gonna pay out the ass for them. The one I got from them is the Pioneer, it's the NEX series. It's the DMH W4600 NEX. One of the main reasons why I went with this particular head unit is it's got wireless Android Auto, and I love using Android Auto. I use Android phones, obviously, but it's got wireless Apple CarPlay as well, as far as I know. I believe this particular model has like Alexa built into it too, which I don't really use Alexa, but hey, it's on there. They also sent an abundance of different things to go along with this. I've got the steering wheel controls. I've got the factory door chime thing that keeps it on there. We got everything I need plus extra. We got a backup camera. I've got this bad boy, which is looks like an HDMI plug. I don't know what's going on here. We'll figure it all out when it's time to install it. But they actually pre-wired this for me, and that's really cool. You know, I usually do my own wiring. I'm not really big on other people working on my stuff. But he asked, hey, Brian, would you like me to pre-wire this? They actually did something cool. When it comes time to do the install, I'll explain what they did. It's a little different than what you may be used to, what I was used to. But it's really cool what they did. So I'll show you here in a little bit. Let's go ahead and show off what we're actually going to do in the vehicle. All right, so in order to fit the Vex series speakers in this door, you know, there's the door panel right there. Got these bad boys from customspeakerpods.com. Now, let's try this in one hand here. It fits dead nuts where it needs to fit. All right, it is a very good fit, and it actually matches my door panel for the most part. They're both black. So now if you take a look here, I'm going to have to do some cutting in the door panel itself. So if you are planning on using a speaker pod, whether it's from these guys or you make your own, you're going to have to do some cutting in your own door panel. You know, I'm going to have to cut this whole thing out right here, and there should be enough room between the spacing of that and the spacing of the door panel itself to where I won't have to cut into the actual metal of the door itself. We'll see how that goes when the time comes. But these fit with some screws. They give you all the screws you need. And the only thing I need to do is I'll have to trace out the holes for the speaker itself in the door panel or in this bad boy and make my own holes. That way, and then fasten it my own way. Now this vehicle has a dash pad. Now I know a lot of you that have this same truck understand why. Let's see here. Yep, it's cracked. I'll probably end up utilizing and keeping this dash pad because it looks better than the nasty old cracks that are on there. All right, so I have the this speaker pod right here. Now if you look right here, that's the orientation that the speaker pod on the A pillar goes. You can bring it up a little bit. I believe it goes to probably about right there, I think. I'll have to play with it a little bit and see exactly, because it's like a perfect fit. So we just have to figure out exactly where it is. But anyway, it kind of, I'd say the axis is about on center, like center point right here. So you get a good bandwidth, or good access, I should say, between both tweeters. And the other one would go right there. There's that pod right there. So going in the back, this is where the subwoofers are going to be, obviously. We're going to lift up the seat. Well, I've got a bunch of junk down under there. So the enclosure, let me move some of this stuff out of the way. Oh, look, there's a cup. That's from my son. All right, so the enclosure for the subwoofer, I'm going to do mostly on the driver's side. It'll be two woofers facing this way. The seats will be lifted up a couple inches with the lifter kit. I'm going to do the port facing forward. So it'll be enclosure, port facing forward. We got two woofers. And the other side, if you notice, I got a bunch of junk, just tools and random shit. We got toilet paper, gotta have toilet paper. The other side will actually be a storage compartment for things like tools and ratchet straps and toilet paper, you know, things you might need when you're on the road. It's a truck, why not use it as a truck? So two woofers, port, and storage compartment. Now I know a lot of you are gonna say, hey Brian, why don't you do the port on the rear facing towards the door? That's what everybody else does. Well, that's not what I wanna do. You know, that is a really cool idea. And yes, in most cases, having the port facing this way towards the door does sound louder in most vehicles. But I want to do a little bit of a unique thing, and I like doing my own thing, and I'm going to do it with the port going down the center this way, facing that way. I may have to do a curve, I may do a curve port, I may have to do an L, we'll see. I haven't designed the enclosure 100% yet, but when the time comes, you'll see how I do it. But again, let's go over there. With I've got ratchet straps, I've got tie downs, I've got all sorts of tools in here. This is a truck. Why not utilize the space for what it needs? 2 woofers, storage compartment, perfect front of the seats. The seats will be lifted, so I have more than enough room to get what I need done. I'll probably have the salt amplifier sitting on top of the enclosure, between the enclosure and the back seat, because there should hopefully be enough room to do that. We'll find out. Now, as for rear doors, I'm not going to do anything. I'm actually going to unhook the speakers that are in there, or just not hook them up, I should say, to the new system. And that'll be that. You know, I personally am not big on rear fill. I'll have subwoofers in the back. I'll have my 2 Vex 8s in the doors. I'll have my tweeters. That's all I'm going to need. It'll be more than loud enough for me personally. And this is a truck. I'm going to be the one that drives it for the most part. And again, I'm all about what's called front staging. You know, I like all my sound in front of me when it comes to, like, just like if I'm playing it or I'm watching, or I'm at a concert, I should say. Everything's in front of me. That's what I want. I feel having the Vex speakers and the tweeters, the super tweeters, BTs, that'll be more than enough sound for me. Front stage, who cares about people in the back? This is all about your own experience. Now again, the first video we're going to focus on the engine compartment and the electrical system first. Obviously, it's always the first thing you should do. Make sure your electrical system is up to par before you do any electrical or system upgrades in your vehicle. Now, if you look right here, there's the factory battery. And then we've got a spot right here for another battery. So why not use both spaces? Over here, we've got our alternator. It's real easy to get to. There's your connector right there. They also give you a good spot for ground, so I'll be utilizing that with the second battery that sits over here. We also have a ground over there. And so what I'll probably do, and I'm not 100% sure yet, run my power wire straight from there to the battery, run my ground wire also to that point as well, and then I have to ground to the chassis, which there's a chassis ground right over here. But if I can find something that's a little bit thicker, better metal, I'll do it down low. Now in the factory battery location, I'll probably have to cut off this bad boy right here, call that junk out, and re-terminate this old wire. There's also a power wire that comes off of there. Have to re-terminate that as well. Gonna have to do some new grounds, new chassis grounds, maybe bring something to the engine from the battery, and then I'll be doing 2 holes for through the firewall. I'll have 1 hole that goes for the 0 gauge Sundown wire, and then I'll have another hole that's going to go with some 4 gauge and some 8 gauge wire. It's going to go through there for some other items I'll be installing in this vehicle as well. So 2 holes in the firewall, and we're going to do them probably back down in this area, maybe a little bit lower, somewhere down there. I got to figure out exactly where the best spot is, and we'll show that in the next video. One rule of thumb is you really don't want to cross over your engine. I know you see it all the time. You don't really want to cross over your engine with power wire. Now GM does do 1 wire, goes up here from this fuse box, comes all the way across the top of the firewall and goes over here to the battery. Now we're going to keep that, and I shouldn't have to cross any wires over. Basically, I'm going to use the alternator as the connection point between both batteries, because we've got the power nut that's on here, or the bolt that's for the positive, and we will just go boom and boom, call it a day. I will most likely just replace the factory alternator wire that goes from here to there with my new wire. So that's it for this video, guys. Look, if you're really interested in this build, please hit that like and subscribe button, share the hell out of the video. If you think you would do it a little bit differently than me, go ahead and put it a little, comment, little snarky remark. Ooh. So anyway, just follow along with us. This will probably be, I'd say, I don't know, 4 or 5 videos long at the most. Not a crazy install. This is definitely a bit of a unique build. It's not your standard, let's just, put the regular speakers in the doors and upgrade the system, blah, 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 all that good stuff. It's a little bit over the top, but not too over the top, if you get what I'm saying. Anyway, guys, we'll see you on the next video. Take care of yourselves.